And it is time for AJ Hawk and I to select and pick every single game against the spread. We've done it all year. It's the only segment we have continued to do. I'm very proud of us. Let's get to it. Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 local. The Tennessee Titans play host to the Cincinnati Bengals as 3.5-point favorites at home. AJ Hawk, your pick.
Gone back and forth many times, but I'm taking the Titans at -3.5 here.
Boom, me too. I don't know. 3.5 seems like a lot. I'm a little bit worried. I'd rather that at 2.5, obviously for gambling reasons. Maybe a game-winning field goal if that thing's tied at the end. We still lose somehow. Tone Diggs, give me a look.
Interesting little thing there. I also wanted the 2.5, so I looked what it would cost to go from 3.5 to 2.5, and it goes to -160, which is normally if you buy a point, it's not that much.
So what do they know? Is this Matt Groening with the goddamn Tom Hanks thing circulating? We've already pointed out another 27, 30-ish coincidence high of The Simpsons knowing what's going to happen in the future to a T, a little bit too close. Oh, my God. You can maybe guess, especially if you're writing jokes. They always say, we write jokes, we guess something's going to hit, obviously, with the amount of things we have done, the amount of shows. Okay, well, how do you know? Boom, 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 boom. Exact situations. The most recent one is Tom Hanks will be, I guess, recapping this past year for the United States. The Simpsons have already had Tom Hanks say, like, hey, the United States has lost all credibility, so they're using mine or something like that on The Simpsons. It's wild. It's a wild thing. And I obviously believe that sports books have the same type of human operating for them. So it moving from -112 to -160 to gain 1 point freaks me out.
27-24. It
is a
feels
big
like
point.
They know.
As you know.
That's scary. How do they know?
They almost lost to the Raiders. Come on.
Whoa.
Give me the Titans. All right, Niners, Packers, 5.5-point favorites at home. Jimmy G has never played in a game below 32 degrees. Let's assume this one's going to be in the single digits. 46% chance of snow just a couple days ago. I don't know what it is currently, but let's assume it's going to be miserable. There's going to be a turtleneck on, the reigning, defending, undisputed MVP who might get the big draft Bakhtiari back, might get all the boys back. Randall Cobb will be out there, 5.5-point favorites at home against the Niners faithful, a team that gets Bosa all the way back. Jimmy G playing football. Deebo Samuel has been unbelievable, and we haven't seen Kittle pop off in the pass game in a few weeks. Look for that to potentially happen. AJ, your thoughts?
Obviously, I'm a homer to the Packers. I'm going to take the Packers here at -5.5, but this is one of those games to where I feel like, okay, the Packers either win by 17 or they find a way to lose. Like, that's kind of where I'm at.
Jesus.
All right, well, if you're saying that, I'm going with the Packers as well because I bet on the Packers.
Hey, you know, a big thing I'm looking for. Have you ever seen, like, they talk about how Jimmy G throws a bunch of in-breaking routes, a lot of things over the middle.
It's all huge. In between the hashes, basically.
Yeah. I don't know if you've checked it out, but they're all-pro middle backer. Devondre Campbell is about 9 feet tall and covers a ton of ground. I feel like he will be a big factor in the throwing lanes for Jimmy G.
Oh, you're saying, hey, look for Devondre to have a pick potentially here.
Whoa. Even if he doesn't have a pick, I'm saying just his presence will take away a lot of those and knock down passes, just get in the throwing lanes. Also, what that does creates tips and overthrows that your DBs take to the house.
And whatever you hear, any commentator that decides to point it out, they'll actually say, look for this Niners offense to literally only throw the ball. Right, they'll actually even like draw goalposts.
Yeah.
Like every completion will be right here. And then as you watch the game, it happens. It's like, how is the defense not fucking stopping? It's going to be a slant. We're going to do a slant. It's going to be some stop route in the middle. That is where Jimmy G is great at. Their offense with Shanahan behind it and Mike McDaniel, I believe is his name. Big time brain out of Yale. They always get creative. They always have some sort of game plan. A couple years back in the NFC Championship, the Niners ran the fucking Packers out of the building. 186 yards before contact. I think this is a different Packers team. I like the Packers, but if they start running their motion offense where they're just moving bodies and just running the weave and everything's just clicking, it's like, oh man, this could be a long fucking night for that Packers team.
As we know, the story is the Green Bay rushing defense is number 31 in yards per carry. So that's the game.
So Aaron's going
to this year they are?
Yeah. I mean, they're not giving up as much as far as rushing yards per game because no one's running on them because they're behind. But as far as yards per carry, it's 31st.
Yeah, so if they're able to get a
That's
lead,
important. That's an important stat. How you say that? Yeah, because teams, are usually coming from behind, so they don't get run on as much as other teams.
They're number 4 in opponent rushes per game. So not a lot of people running the ball against them.
but when they do. But that could also be the defense being in. They have to throw it here, and they might pop off
true.
for like a draw. Every stat could have two different ways to look at everything. Let's just assume that the Packers are ready for this, built for this moment, and better than they have been the last few years. Rams, Bucks in Tampa Bay. Obviously, Aaron Donald, Von Miller going against a banged-up offensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who still have fucking Tom Brady at quarterback. Matthew Stafford in the Rams offense played a fucking perfect game, it felt like, last game. Tampa Bay blew the shit out of the goddamn Eagles. Scotty Miller couldn't get 8.5 yards, but everybody else seemed to be able to do whatever the hell they wanted to do. Two teams very hot, coming off great games. Your thoughts, AJ?
I really wish this line was actually 3.5 because I'm going to take the Rams here to find a way to win this one, I think.
All right, give me the Bucks.
All right.
It's Tom Brady.
That's right. Yep.
Tom Brady's 17-3 in his last 20 playoff games. So just
no team.
This may be the first time I've picked against Tom Brady.
And also, Stafford had his moment. He got a playoff victory. They have something they can build on for next year. Hey, we had a good team. I think in my head, whenever we're coming in here on Monday, it's hey, good on Stafford.
Good season.
They just ran into Tom. In my head, that's just how it works. I could be wrong though, because that Rams team is electrifying. I mean,
I'm worried about Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs isn't healthy. I mean, they can rush the passer. I don't want them to get Tom, uncomfortable and have him moving around.
And I was literally saying Von Miller's going to go after Tristan Wirfs, but if he's bad or hurt at all, and Jensen's a little bit banged up, he's going to play. They can move old Aaron Donald out there too, who is just the most explosive player in the history of the game.
Leonard Floyd is very good.
Cam Akers too. He had a huge game last week. That Tampa Bay run defense is pretty stout. So if they have to put everything on Stafford's shoulders, they didn't have to last week. We'll see how that plays out.
I wouldn't worry about Aaron Donald. I mean, there's a offensive assistant line coach on the Bucks who has dealt with Aaron Donald many times.
2 times a year for multiple years. Coach A.Q. Shipley, who's been in a fucking cave, I feels like. I don't know if it's me not wanting to reach out to him because he's in the middle of a run or him not reaching out to me. I'm excited to see him postseason, you know. But that son of a bitch could coach 2 Super Bowls in less than a year coaching, basically.
Unbelievable.
That guy's unbelievable. That boy, let's go. And then Sunday Night Football, Bills, Chiefs. We've had numerous Bills on the show. We have had 0 Chiefs on the show. I naturally would like to see the Buffalo Bills go in and do the damn thing because Josh Allen and that team of Western New York have been nothing short of a climb. A disrespect after disrespect moment for their team. 0 Pro Bowlers on the defensive side of the ball, even though they're number 1. Josh Allen, whenever they lost a game or 2 in the windy conditions, they said, this guy can't even play in the cold. That team could go on to win the whole goddamn thing. But they're playing against the goddamn Chiefs, who at any moment can flip the switch and decide that they want to beta every single team in the NFL. I have no idea where I lie on this one, aside from the fact that Josh Allen and Jordan Boyer have come on the show. So I feel like we're at least a little bit of a glue guy in that locker room. Let's go Buffalo. I'm on the Bills plus 1.5.
Yeah, this has been a tough one for me, but I've gone back and forth. I'm taking Bills plus 1.5 as well.
Okay, so the only game we are differing on is the Sunday 3 o'clock game for the Rams and Bucks. Big brain on you, AJ. I appreciate you, buddy. Have a great last hour here with the boys. I can't thank you all enough.